How's it going, everyone? 2023 has come and gone, and while we've had a lot of great game releases, really, this has been one of the best years in gaming in a very, very long time. And when people crap on modern gaming, and I know that's kind of the cool thing to do, and don't get it twisted, like, there's a lot of crappy aspects of modern gaming, but there were a lot of great games this year, and really just enjoyed a lot of the different content that came out. You know, I'm not a big fan of the unfinished games, I'm not a big fan of the obscene DLC, $70 games, etc., etc. There's a lot of things we can be upset about, always online, etc., etc. But as far as games go, there was a lot of good stuff this year. Obviously, a bunch of titles were delayed into 2024 and beyond, and one game that I know a lot of you guys were excited for was the PlayStation 5 console exclusive, the debut console title from Shift Up in Stellar Blade. This game was announced back in, I want to say, 2019 as Project Eve, then it was re-revealed in a state of play going back to 2022 as Stellar Blade, and then it got announced for a 2023 release window. And unfortunately, with games like this coming from studios that aren't really well established, you always got to take games like this with a grain of salt as far as their release windows go. It's really hard to get excited for games like this, games like A Lost Soul aside, and especially just projects as a part of the ChinaJoy project. Shift Up and Stellar Blade is not a part of the ChinaJoy project, but that's another arm of Sony and PlayStation titles that those games are hard to get excited about just because they seemingly never come out in a lot of the instances. And it's humorous because sometimes when you see like images on social media and whatnot, and people will be like, PlayStation's got a stack 2024, and then you just see an image of like Lost Soul Aside attached to the collage, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, if you're making images like that, you know damn well as good as I do that, hey, best case scenario, Lost Soul Aside comes out in 2024, but like to promote that that game is coming out in 2024, that's a little bit comical, especially because I feel like, you know, and I was there, I was probably promoting, oh my god, dude, Lost Soul Aside, I can't wait until 2018 when this game comes out. It's one of the top games of 2018 for me. It's damn 2024 and that game still ain't out. And Stellar Blade, while I don't put it in the Lost Soul Aside category, it was one that I was like, we're not getting a lot of updates for it. It was getting into the latter portion of 2023, and they weren't even giving you an update on this game, and now they have just quietly moved the game to 2024, which I always find like this to be kind of whack. And this was officially announced as a part of the PlayStation blog. They just did a 2024 like PlayStation highlights article, and they specifically stated Stellar Blade for 2024. Prior to this game has been scheduled for 2023, going back to that PlayStation State of Play event in September of 2022. It was scheduled for 2023. At the very least, I would appreciate, even if it's a game like this where, yes, people like me and those of you that follow gaming for a while, you were already inherently skeptical whether or not this game was gonna come out in 2023, and yeah, I get that, but there was a large portion of people, and I saw it in my comment section all the time, where people were like, man, I'm so hyped for Stellar Blade, I'm so hyped for Stellar Blade, can't wait until the end of the year when it comes out, etc., etc. And I swear, I was seeing comments like that in June and July, and by June or July, you're like, okay, this game is probably not gonna come out in 2023. It's just like, yo, officially confirm that. Give your audience and the people that are excited for it at least a update, be like, hey, development of the game is taking too long, etc., etc., etc. I don't think we even have an official statement on the delay. Rather, on the PlayStation blog, it was just noted, while Stellar Blade is Korean developer Shift Up's first console title, the adventure is looking promising indeed. Stellar Blade is an action-adventure game making its way to PlayStation 5 next year. This hack-and-slash title puts players in the control of the stylish heroine Eve as she takes on a force ravaging the Earth while surviving humans escape to an outer space colony. Stellar Blade combines sharp action with stunning visuals and a mature narrative to create something all new. Players will have to master a balanced offense and defense to survive against hordes of out-of-this-world enemies. And I have to say, the game looks really, really good, and Shift Up and PlayStation and Sony, it seems like they do have a working relationship. Shift Up certainly is not a first-party studio, but I would not be surprised if it turns out to be a long-term relationship. And if this game turns out well, I foresee it doing very well from a commercial standpoint. Like, if it's a slick action game that's reminiscent of, let's say, a Platinum Games fast-paced action title, I foresee it doing very well. It's just as far as the delay goes, I wish it was handled a little better. I wish Sony, PlayStation, whoever's involved just came out with a statement and be like, hey, game's taking more time, development is progressing along. I just feel like that's a standard thing to expect. If you're announcing a game for a window of 2023 release, don't be just sly about it and push it to 2024 without an official confirmation or at least a statement. I think that would at least go a long way, because from what I know, and maybe I'm wrong about this, this is the first actual official statement that the game has pushed to 2024. You know, in the past, I'm pretty sure leading up to now, December the 29th, it has been scheduled for 2023. And obviously, like, by the time you get to September, October, like, bro, you know at that point this game is not coming out in 2023. Obviously, there are still, like, a small amount of people that still think the game was coming out in 23, but yeah, this is pushed to 24. And hey, if it comes out in 2024, like, man, I'm starting to see this PlayStation lineup. And yeah, a lot of it is not from first party, but you're still talking about timed exclusives. And a game like Rise of the Ronin, it is a Sony published title. They're working with Team Ninja on that game, and I believe it's even got the PlayStation Studios label attached to it. I believe that's something new that they're doing with their second party titles, so to speak, or third party exclusives. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a legit timed exclusive. Like, they're being open and upfront about it being a 3-month windowed exclusive, so I don't even view that game really as an exclusive. I get it, it's going to be promoted as such, etc., but you know, whatever the deal is with that, I just think that 3-month timed exclusivity is such nonsense. But if you look at Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade, there's some cool titles coming out. You've got Last of Us Part 2 Remastered in the mix as well. I'm starting to see 2024 take shape, and it's looking okay. What I would just appreciate is more emphasis on first party. That's really where I think PlayStation is looking to fumble in 2024. Like, the first party lineup, not the timed exclusives, not them working with third parties, etc. The first party lineup, you're looking at a bunch of live service games and literally 0 titles confirmed as far as titles that would be those big budget single player games that you would get excited for from first party. Insomniac obviously just put out Spider-Man 2. It looks like Sucker Punch will not be getting out Ghost of Tsushima, a sequel to that, whatever they decide to call it. And Naughty Dog, I don't think they're gonna put out a new title. They're just gonna lean on these Last of Us remasters for a while until they get Last of Us Part 3, which I assume is the game they're working on, done. Obviously, Factions has officially been canceled or canned, or it'll be, you know, it might get baked into Last of Us Part 3. We'll see how that turns out, but I know a big reason why 2024 is looking so scarce from a first-party standpoint is so many of the PlayStation studios have been working on live service games, and those are titles that may be deep into development or still early on into development, may have hit roadblocks, and then quietly got canceled and will never see the light of day. It's really unfortunate to somebody like me, because imagine if they didn't go the super live service heavy route. Like, what if Naughty Dog put those resources they had been working towards on Factions into a new project? What if you allocated some of those resources to creating other games that, you know, for me, they would be big, but I know from a commercial standpoint, from Sony running it as a business, they're probably, you know, salivating at the thought of creating this big live service game that they can monetize for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And here I am begging for a Gravity Rush 3 that'll sell hopefully 1 million copies if it ever came to fruition, or a new Wipeout game where that franchise has seemingly been canned. But, you know, I'm going on a little bit of a diatribe. At least Stellar Blade hopefully will add a little bit of depth to Sony's 2024 lineup. Maybe Lost Soul will come out before I call it for this lifetime. I'm still excited for that game and hoping it turns out fairly well. But 2024 with Rise of the Ronin, and, you know, you can look at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Hopefully Stellar Blade comes out, and the depth of releases from third parties is looking good. Like, don't get it twisted. While I'm disappointed in Sony first party releases, third party releases, oh my goodness, it looks absolutely stacked in 2024, and that Q1, I've said it over and over again, looks like one of the craziest quarters in gaming history. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your anticipation level for Stellar Blade in the comment section down below. Do you have hope that it'll come out in 2024? Do you see it ultimately get delayed into 25? Because I could see that as well. I really hope it doesn't end up being another Lost Soul Aside where it's just perpetually in development flux, but, you know, hopefully it just comes out next year, but we'll see how that turns out. It's hard to get excited when stuff like that does happen, like a quiet delay. But again, hopefully 2024 we see the official release on that, and hopefully it becomes a new IP for Sony, and they have a strong relationship with Shift Up, and it's a strong debut console title for Shift Up, and it becomes an IP with multiple entries. We'll see how it turns out, but let me know your thoughts down below. Sound off in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.